Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Keith. This is all things Tenerife and more. As you can see, I'm back in Temple Bar, but I'm not staying here. I'm going to head out. We're going to go for a little wander. I'm going to bring you to my favourite bar in Dublin City. It's a little bar called Henda. Henda is just outside. It's actually near the old market where the old fruit and veg market used to be. And actually someone commented the other day and asked would I take a wander up around there to show them how much it's changed. And it has changed hugely. I think their mum lived up there, so I did promise that I would head up that direction and let them see. So come and join us. We're going to head up there. We're about to cross one of the, well, to me, the most iconic bridge in Dublin City. It's my favourite as well. This is the Merchant's Arch. Cracking bar. So, this is the Halfpenny Bridge. Many moons ago, you used to have to pay a half penny to cross from the north side to the south side, which is why it's called the Halfpenny Bridge. It's that divide between north and south. Everything in this country is divided by north and south. So while we're still on this side, the Halfpenny Inn, good little pub. They have a laughter lounge, they have a comedy lounge in it. So if you're looking for maybe a night of comedy, definitely a place to give it a try. So this is going to bring us across the Liffey and up to the market area, up to Smithfield, and then we'll finish up with a little trip up as far as Jameson's distillery. Dublin is just, you can't beat it for in the summertime. The sun is shining, there's no city quite like it. And here's one of our Viking splash tours coming down. See if we can time this. As you can see, there's building work everywhere in the city. Excellent. So as you can see, there's our Viking splash tour heading down. You don't have to wear the hat. Okay, if you do decide, there you go. I was hoping for that. So that's what they do. They drive around the city every now and then, they'll roar at you. Grand Social, another really good bar. I don't know what that noise is, but I'm assuming it's someone's alarm going off. So, another Butler's Chocolates Cafe. They do a really good dark chocolate with chili chocolate in there. Seriously good. Seriously good. Okay, and we're coming up on yet another new hotel. So this is about a 5-minute walk from O'Connell Street, which is the main road that runs down, the main street that runs down the middle of the north side of the city. So if you're staying in this hotel up here, you're very central. And this would be reasonably quiet, I'd imagine, this hotel, because there's not a huge amount around here that opens late, if you know what I mean. There's a lot to do around here, don't get me wrong, I'm not suggesting that, but what I'm saying is there's not a huge amount of late night bars or whatever in and around this area. So yeah, if you're looking for a decent hotel that's literally only opened in the last 12 months or so, in the back of Arnott's here, it's a department store in the city. Again, crossing the Luce. Anywhere you see these tracks, that's the tram that runs from north to south of Dublin. Now I'm going to take you up. I can go that way, but we're going to go this way. We're going to head out and take a little look down in and around Henry Street. Now, it would be remiss of me not to mention the fact that this is Arnott's. For those of you in Dublin, you know what it is. It's a department store. For the men of Dublin, you know what it is. It's a torture chamber. You're dragged around by your other half for hours on end, almost religiously. But yeah, as we said, it's a good little place to spend an hour, or depending on your gender, several hours. But I would be given out if I didn't mention the fact that it was there. So it is now it's 5 to 11. I've been out since 8 o'clock this morning. I've been vlogging since 8 o'clock this morning. I've been wandering aimlessly around the streets of Dublin since 8 o'clock. I think I'm on vlog number 6 or number 7 at this stage. So I'm really pleased with the amount of numbers I'm getting into this. So we're now coming out onto Henry Street. And this is still not as busy as it gets, but it is one of the busiest sort of precincts. You have the Ilex Centre here on the right hand side. That's a huge mall. You have Marks and Sparks, and you also have the Jervis Street Shopping Centre down there on the left hand side, which again it's a shopping mall. So if you're going, I suppose, here for a weekend and need to do a bit of shopping, this would be where you'd go. It's a common question. You've Pull and Bear, and of course you've got Penny's Home. Penny's responsible for more landfill in the world than any other shop. That's just my personal opinion. Don't get me wrong, it's an iconic Irish shop, and people don't realise that Penny's is Irish, or Primark as they call it in the UK and various other parts of the world. Well, Primark, whether you call it Primark, whether you call it Penny's, it's Irish. It was founded by an Irishman. So yeah, half the people in this city wouldn't have a stitch to wear if it wasn't for the fact that it exists. Church, restaurant and bar. Again, haven't eaten in it, but have heard great things about it. Gets great reviews. Actually, another way of getting around the city, if you want to do a tour, if you grab, if there's a group of you, most Dublin taxis, the big ones particularly, will do tours. They'll guide you around, and they're actually really good value. You can agree a price before you get in. They'll take you around the sites, they'll sit and wait for you, agree a price. But then the old saying goes, don't pay the ferryman until he gets you to the other side. But again, well worth doing. If you get the right driver, it's a good way to see the city. And they'll show you all the little sort of hidden places that most people don't ever get to see. Now this part of Dublin, this little strip here, it's just kind of, it's full of knickknacks. It's not, there's nothing I can particularly point out that's of any great interest, other than there is a half decent Chinese on the other side. Well, there used to be, I'll rephrase that, there used to be a half decent Chinese on the other side, which is no longer here. So there you go, we're now back to saying there's nothing for me to tell you between here and the top of this road. When we get to the top, if you look to the left, you'll see Slattery's Bar. Slattery's is an early house, opens, I think it's 7:30 in the morning. Yes, 7:30 in the morning. Great food, great bar. Food is really good. There's a famous chef, Anthony Bourdain, who, there you go, Anthony Bourdain recommends the full Irish breakfast. Sadly, Anthony took his own life a number of years ago and passed away, but it was one of his favourite haunts when he was here in Dublin. Now we're about to come up to my favourite bar in Dublin City. Now this is the old market area. So you have Stay City here on the right hand side. These are apart hotels, so and they're quite well fitted out, to be honest with you. I was only ever in one of them, but I think they're a standard build. They've like got a kitchenette in them, they've got a bedroom, whatever. During COVID, a lot of these were used as shelters for people who had COVID to quarantine them. And yeah, so I helped quite a few people. I worked with the HSE during that period, so I was bringing people in and out of hotel rooms and what have you. And yeah, anyway, we're at night, we're seeing better times now. So here we are, Little Green Street, and we're now outside of my favourite bar in Dublin City. This is Henda. If you're lucky enough to get in here, you'll meet one of the most iconic barman owners that you'll ever meet. Now this photograph, that's Shay obviously on the left hand side, and that is actually Ed Sheeran. This bar is renowned for the amount of famous people that have come into it, but you do have to, okay, if you come up to the bar and this gate is closed, which it is now, as you can see, the metal gate is closed, the wooden gate behind is closed, the bar is closed. If it's open, hit the doorbell. Shay comes out and answers the door to you. Shay is the most eclectic person you've ever met in your life. He's an absolute gentleman, a character, an absolute character. He's one of the most outrageous dressers I've ever met, but he's such a lovely, lovely man. Now, don't be offended if you knock on that or if you ring that doorbell and he doesn't let you in, because it's a private party. It's something, there's a reason, and only he knows, and we don't question it. You just go away and you come back another day and then you'll try it again. But if you do, and if and when you do get in, it is one of the best nights you will ever have. I've fallen out of that place at all hours of the night. He's just an absolute gent. Now, this is the old fruit market. Now, I have just heard, well, not right now, but I have recently heard that they have got permission to renovate this, and they're going to turn it back into a market area. So I don't know when the work starts, but this, if you're here during the day, all of these fruit wholesalers are open. So as I say, I'm not sure when the work starts, but it is starting. They have been given permission to restore it, and they're going to, as I say, turn it back into an old market stall. There was plans last Christmas to have a Christmas market in it, which was a great idea. It didn't happen, but it has happened before there. So I'm not, as I said, I'm not sure when it's going to start, but I would imagine within the next 12 months, it's going to start up. And again, sadly, more people in tents. So we're nearly there. We're heading close to Jameson's and Smithfield. Smithfield was the old horse market. I actually don't know whether they're still here. I don't think they are. There used to be a horse market here, a horse fair here. It was every Saturday, once a month every Saturday. And I suppose one of the strangest, a strange thing in Dublin, that a lot of Dublin people own horses. Even Dublin people that don't necessarily have anywhere to put a horse. There was a movie years ago, The Commitments. I'm sure lots have seen it. Probably every Irish person watching it would have seen it. And there's that iconic scene in the movie where a young kid is bringing a horse into a block of flats and he's waiting for the lift. And someone asks him, like, why is he taking a horse into a lift? Obvious answer, because the stairs had hurt his feet. So, and that area where that was, Ballymun, where that was filmed, it's where I was born. And it wasn't unusual for people to have horses in their back garden. And I'm not talking about stabled horses, although some had, don't get me wrong. But kids would ride a horse bareback around your neighbourhood. Nothing unusual. Urban cowboys, they were referred to as a kind of iconic part of Dublin City. But this is where they used to, you'd come in here and you'd buy a horse. Same way you'd buy, I don't know, car, sack of potatoes, whatever the hell. Just there's no rules. You just bought your horse and off you went. You would ride your horse home. Yeah. So up here, where we're heading now, where we're going to finish actually, is where that would have happened. Now I would love to get in. That's St. Michan's Church over there. St. Michan's Church has a mummy, and there's two of them actually, two mummies in a crypt in the basement of the church. And you used to be able to go in and shake hands with, it's a cavalier, and you used to shake hands with him, they'd rub his finger up. It's supposed to bring you good luck. So you can't do that anymore, but you can still see it. So it's one of those things, if you are here and that interests you, look it up, St. Michan's Church. And as I said, I think you can still do, they still do tours in there. So if you look at where we've just walked from, we're now up at Jameson's distillery. And that's what I'm saying to you, Dublin isn't a big city. You can walk from one end of it to the other in relatively short time. I always like the square up here, Smithfield. And again, it's another spot that I think they should actually put a market in. It will be, now, if they, that one behind us, if they convert that old fruit market to a market stall again, it would be fantastic. Dublin City needs it. I love markets. I used to work markets, and like up until recently still did. I used to sell jewellery at markets. I love the buzz and the crack of selling things. You can't beat it. It's one of those things, either in here or it's not, I suppose. But I used to really enjoy it. So this is Bow Street. This is the entrance into Jameson's distillery. I was going to say the smell of whiskey, but it's not. There's a earthy smell of Moroccan woodbines. So, carols for every possible tourist thing you can think of, and of course Jameson's. So, like you see, not far from Henry Street, the main shopping area. It's only a few minutes walk. So, yes, you can get yourself around the city in taxis, but because of the amount of one-way systems and the amount of congestion in the city at any given time, I think you're better off walking, to be honest with you, because Dublin's not huge. Now there's one more sort of hostel, for want of a better word. It is actually a hostel. It's a good little spot. The Generator, again, used by stags and hens a huge amount. This is Smithfield, and this is the Generator. Like I say,